Hey everyone, Switch here. This video will be a lot different from what I normally do. The main topic is about Donald Trump. Yeah, you heard me right, it's about Donald Trump, the next president of US. Some of my friends and viewers is familiar about my opinions about Donald Trump. And the reason why I decided to make this video, well, it is something that Donald Trump recently said as during a conference. Even though he's not elected yet, but here's the thing. He did mention during this conference that he wanted to buy Greenland, the world's largest island. And it is not the first time he approached Denmark to want to buy the island. You may ask, why Greenland of all places? Well, since Greenland has belonged to Denmark for quite a long time, and since the island's majority of the surface is ice. But what was about that? What makes it Greenland so very sought after the territorial land for America? Well, there are three reasons in his opinions. One, it has mineral resources like zinc, copper, diamonds, oil, and also the second is that it gives access to valuable shipping routes. And three, it has strategical important location. But like I said, the first time Donald Trump to buy Greenland from Denmark back in during his first term as a president, it didn't work. Now he tries again. And now he says that he even started questioning Denmark's legal right over Greenland. And even though his son Donald Trump Jr. recently went to Greenland for a visit, and many of the world's leaders, especially European leaders, actually are really shocked of Donald Trump's claim that he wants to get the island for national security. I mean, it's not like the first time anything like this happened. I also learned one piece of information that the US Virgin Islands once belonged to Denmark, but they sold them to US. And even back in 1940s, even Denmark was approached even then to want to acquire Greenland, but Denmark said no. And even though many Greenlanders had also said, no, we don't want to be part of America. Even though Greenland is more closer to Canada than the United States. I understand from this for one perspective that Donald Trump wants to make part of that. But in that perspective, Greenland has been part of Denmark for so long. It's not that simple that they just would give it up. I don't think no matter how much money he offers, Denmark would not budge from that. And even though the Greenland has very valuable resources like zinc, copper, and oil, you may ask, is Denmark even aware of this? Yes, they are in fact aware of these mineral resources, but they don't extract them. It's because of that Greenland's climate is a very frozen wasteland, and the majority of the population of Greenland lives along the coastline. So, why would suddenly this happen? Well, like I said, this is not the first time Trump want to buy Greenland from Denmark. It's not like it wouldn't even happen, because even though Greenland has always belonged to Denmark for so long, but US had some military bases on Greenland. But even if Donald Trump would send a military force to take Greenland from Denmark, that would cause huge international scandal. Because one problem is that since Greenland belongs to Denmark, and Denmark is a part of NATO, that is the military defense alliance, even including that US also is a part of this alliance, also is also one of the founding members. So you may understand if Donald Trump would even try to send any military force to the island, it would cause huge scandal. And many of the close allies to US might even start to questioning to, well, if they really want to be part of their allies anymore. Because if this would happen, that would cause huge problems. Many countries would stop making deals with, well, with the US, and it would cause not only a problem for that, but huge economical problems. It's just something like that. And but Greenland is not the only thing that Donald Trump wants to has his eyes on. The second one is Canada. He wants to make Canada to the 51st state of the United States. If that would happen, it would make the largest state, like way larger than California. And the population would increase from 340 million to almost 380 million. But here's the thing. Even though Canada's current Prime Minister has said that he doesn't even want this to happen, and in response, Canada said that since they provide a lot of electricity to the many homes and other business along the northern border between the border of Canada and US, and if this would continue, Canada would suddenly shut off their electricity, and that business and homes will suddenly have blackouts. It's not like a threat or anything. They just said that could potentially happen if they were going for that much. Even if Trump wanted to put Canada as part of the US as the newest state, it won't be that simple. He could perhaps maybe request it to Canada so that they can have a general voting for the public to vote if they want to be part of US as the newest state, or to even remain as their independent nation. Even if the population would set 100% as independent nation, well, he would have to accept it. But even if he would try to send a military force to annex Canada, well, that would have been a huge problem for him, because it could have been seen as an act of war. I can give you one example. That what would happen when Russia did to Ukraine. It's an example. And I don't think Donald Trump is crazy enough to even to send military forces to annex part of Canada to put a claim as United States territory. Because if he tried, it would only put huge international scandal and also an act of war. And I don't think that is the last thing he wants to put America for. I mean, seriously. Why would he even try to do that? Because he knows if he would somehow start to annex territory within a Canadian country, well, first, could be seen as an act of war. But also, he would have been in a deep, deep hole. He could have been forced off from the position as a president, and he could even perhaps been arrested for that or something. I don't even know for sure how that even works. But what I know for fact, if he tried to put any form of military forces to Canada to annex, even along the border, well, it would not be responding well to that. Because Canada will send their army and other forces to defend themselves and force them back. Because they won't even tolerate anything like it. And even if the general public in Canada all agreed they want to be as an independent nation and not as a state. And like I said, Donald Trump may be crazy, but I don't think he's crazy enough to even to annex part of Canada by military force because it could be seen as an act of war. And I really don't think that he would even want to go that far. So, even if the Canada's Prime Minister has stated that he doesn't want to have this to happen, even though Canada is a large country, but there are large areas of Canada that's not even largely populated. Compared to US, Canada has a lot less population, like only 40 million. And so I understand from Canada's point of view, they have been part of as an independent nation for so long. And now Donald Trump wants to make their nation as the newest state. Even though I also had asked myself, if Donald Trump were to make Canada as the new part of the United States, what would have happened? Would it become as one single state? Or would all the province remain as the new states, like the 13th province? So in right from 51, that will be more than almost like 60 states or something. So, but in the same perspective for that, I don't believe Canada would even fall for that type of things at all. And even if he wants to buy Canada from Canada for the Canadian government, I don't think that would even happen because Canada, I don't believe they would even want to go so far. Because if the Celestialism happened, if Canada would suddenly sell their land, their nation, to US as become a new state, several holidays in Canada, including like Canada's Independence Day, will cease to exist. And some other traditions also may also be gone. And other traditions that be celebrated in Canada may still be celebrated, but some of the dates may also be changed. I don't know for a fact of how that even works, but Canada should be let alone. Since Canada has been as an independent state for so long, so Donald Trump, please just let Canada be alone. It doesn't really work how to mess around with this. Sure, you can make your own opinions to say what you want to do, but you can't. Because even if you aren't the president yet, it's still a lot of things that could cause this. Even if you will be the president, it's not much you can do. Sure, you have a lot of powers, but there's limits to what you can do and can't do. And especially when he wants to buy Greenland. I understand that the Greenlanders want to remain as part of Denmark, which they have been for so long. Sure, I understand that Canada or that Greenland has a very important place in the world as for national security. But here's the thing. If they would have had a very concern about national security, why don't they just increase some of their military presence? Maybe build another base on Greenland or something. They already had a base there, or two. I don't know for a fact how many they have there, but still. Donald Trump, my honest opinion, leave Canada alone. Leave Greenland alone. Because who knows? Because if this would happen, Greenland or even Denmark in this case could make US military base to be shut down and they would be forced away from the land. Think about it. Is that the last thing you want to do? No, I don't think so. Think about it, Donald Trump. So if the base or bases on Greenland that belongs to the US military, if they've been forced to leave Greenland, they will lose a very important defense line. So think about it. If if Trump would even go so far, sure, there are some Greenlanders that want to be part of US, but there isn't like that they can do anything about it. Sure, Greenland has self-government also, but the main government that makes the main rules and laws for Greenland is Denmark. So if Denmark says no, it's that. I mean, Greenland can also try to be independent, or maybe want to join in US. It would be up to them also, but at the same time, since Greenland has been part of Denmark for such a long time, I think it's not worth it. So Donald Trump should leave Greenland to be part of Denmark and just simply give up his ideas on this a whole idea to make Canada or Greenland and Canada as part of US. My honest opinion is that he shouldn't mess around with this. Because as that's already after this conference that he did make these statements, a lot of world leaders, including from the European mainland, had made a lot of shocking statements of this, including Denmark. They don't really want to, they are not even interested to sell Greenland for nothing at all. So, I understand from the point of view from Denmark and many other European leaders how they reacted to this. It's just not really worth at all. So Donald Trump should not mess around with European affairs and other countries' deals like that. Even when he wants to put a higher taxes for importing goods from overseas, like from Canada, from Asia, still, it doesn't really give him the right that he wants to make to make Greenland and Canada's part of the US. It would be like the same as if Sweden want to make them Norway and Finland part of US, of my own country. Just to be as a bit of historical fact is that Finland used to be part of Sweden for I think around 700 to 800 years until it became part of Russia, but eventually became as independent nation themselves in 1917. So, as to that, I should say from my opinions here now, Trump, for love of God, leave Canada and Greenland alone. Give up your plans of doing this. Are you really wanting to risk to be put US in more bad lights and even put in international scandals that there is? I don't think so. Fun fact is that, for example, what if that Hawaii decided to leave US and to be as an independent nation? Historical fact, it has been as independent nation once before. They were as an independent nation as a kingdom until late 1800s when US military decides to annex the islands, and later in the late 20th century, around 1950s, when they became part of US. There are in fact people in Hawaii that have the hopes and desire to either be self-governance or as an independent nation. So let's say if Hawaii were declared themselves as independent, Trump would probably send a larger military presence to the island or the islands to make them to change their mind or something, or even give them the self-government's rules. So that is just that. So Canada should be left alone since they've been part of as an independent nation for quite a long time now, and as Greenland would be part of Denmark for such a long time, should be let alone. So Donald Trump, my honest opinions is to let those places be themselves. You're already making fun of you. You're making this bad impression to the rest of the world right now. Like many European leaders already are concerned, worried, shocked of your statements of what happened, what you want to do. Are you really want to put the risk of to do so? Many nations which has close allies to US are shocked of Trump's recent statement, even if he is not the president yet. I mean, what if he tried? Well, let's say if he tried to do something even before he became the president, well, let's say they might even by legally force him to be removed as the president-elect. That means he would not even be the next president of 2025 and for the next 4 years. I know for the fact that many are still shocked of how he wants to put a claim on Denmark, Greenland, and Canada. But still, I'm just surprised of any of this. I learned it about a couple of days ago. But honestly, I'm not even afraid. I'm not even worried that would even happen. Because if he tried to put any form of military presence or force, it would only cause international scandal, but also put United States in a very dark, bad spotlight. He will ruin the US reputation even much more than it is. And I know, people, I'm just ranting on this, but I just want to make my statement clear. I just want to inform my viewers and my fans about my opinions about this. Sure, some of my friends and viewers may actually might even be on Trump's side on this. And to be honest, I'm not a judge. I'm neutral. I'm neutral when it comes to such things, especially in politics. But I just want to put my opinions or thoughts about this. That's all. So even if more than some of my friends or viewers are standing on Trump's side, well, it's up to their choice, not mine. I'm not making them to change their opinions. I only want to say what I think of all this. That's all. Even so, Canada and Greenland should be let alone. That's all I want to put at that. And, well, we will see what will happen all this eventually for the next 4 years. So, yeah. I just wanted to record this and to let everyone on my channel knows about this. And, but yeah. This is Switch Double signing off. And as always, Switch Double over and out.